Hey Super Gamers, JT here. Now, I'll bet you're wondering what video games were like back in the 80s. You know, the decade where you sometimes like to dance to the music, play rock and roll on your guitar, or surf or skateboard, or watch Saturday morning cartoons, eating some cereal. Well, I bet you wonder what gaming was like. Like you go to the arcades or play games at home on your consoles. Well, get this. We're going to be talking about the top 4 game consoles of the 80s. That's right, I'm talking about top 4. If you're new here, make sure you leave a like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell if you don't want to miss out. And for all you retro gamers out there born in the 80s, this one's for you. Okay, first off, let's start with number 4, a Commodore 64. Commodore 64 is like a home computer, but it's also a game console, despite the appearance of a keyboard, where you connect it to a TV and play there. Now, I experienced playing Commodore 64 games on my old Nintendo Wii. The only Commodore 64 game I played was California Games, which was by Electronic Arts, aka EA Games. Yeah. At first, the graphics are a bit different, and the sound was okay. But what's really cool is the gameplay, whether it's skateboarding or BMX or footbag, better known as hack and sack, or surfing, cowabunga. Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, and that's all I can experience about the Commodore 64. So that's the only memory I had when I played on the Wii. Now, number 3 we're going to look at is the Atari 2600. Now, Atari actually released the 2600 in 1977, which was the year of my dad's graduation at Roosevelt High School in New York. But I'm not talking about the 70s now. I'm talking about the 80s, and because right after its launch, Atari began gaining population in the 80s with more games, including home versions of the arcade games like Nintendo's Donkey Kong.
Look out, you beauties! Here comes Donkey Kong!
There are some sound effect comparisons between the arcade and the Atari 2600 versions. So, let's take a look at these clips for example. Here we go. See what I mean? But it doesn't matter. No matter what sound effect or what graphic it is, Donkey Kong was actually one of the best first games of the early 80s. Thank you, Nintendo, for making that. Now, up next is number 2, the Sega Master System. Now, it was the first Sega console of the 80s, launched by Sega of America and Sega of Japan. One time when I was a little boy, I used to play the Sega Master System when my cousin used to have that whenever we go visit my auntie. It was really fun. There were some games I used to play, including Sega's version of Monopoly, which was really awesome. That was really fun and all that. And here's the fact. Right before Sonic the Hedgehog came as a mascot, the first mascot of Sega was actually Alex Kidd. Sorry, Sonic, but we had to wait your turn.
Stop talking. No, you stop talking. Be quiet, Sonic. You be quiet, Sonic.
And finally, the number 1 game console of the 80s, the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's where it all started. My first NES set was the Nintendo Action Set with the 1989 Nintendo Zapper and the cartridge that contained Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, which was really cool. I even loved playing that back as a kid. Yeah, the funniest part is whenever I missed shooting that duck, that dog laughed, which I found kind of annoying. But it was actually fun at the same time. So that's the top 4 game consoles of the 80s. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this content, and I know I do. So I'll see you guys next time. So game on and God bless. Bye!